What is up, you guys? Wow, that was a huge win for the Rainbow Warrior men's basketball team. And they took on Cal State Bakersfield at the Accardo Center for the final time as members of the Big West. Now, Bakersfield is the team that's in last place in the conference. And fortunately, UH did what they were supposed to do and got a win. But that was huge. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit. But first off, guys, remember, subscribe if you think that I'm worth listening to, or if you just want to see some more of my games. I will have another one up later this week, hopefully. But in the meantime, let's get into this. Okay, here's my banner. UH beats Bakersfield 89-74. UH leads Big West standings now. Now, I'll tell you this. UH now improves to 10-3 in Big West play and 18-5 overall. Now, this was a game that was pretty close early on, but UH was the first to get on a significant run and be able to lead throughout. Now, I didn't listen to the first half or most of the first half, but I did listen to all of the second half. And fortunately, by the time I tuned in, UH was up by 10. And after I looked at the play-by-play, I could see that it was really close, and that was when UH ended up getting on the run first. It was a 9-0 run, and that was generated by some triples. And as a result, UH found themselves up by a handful. And then, just when you think it was going to be another cakewalk for UH, like the home matchup back in January on the 22nd, where UH won by 27, it didn't turn out that way. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that UH was not on home court. And obviously, Bakersfield, give them credit for a team that's last place in the conference. They gave us a run for our money, that's for sure. But by halftime, UH was up double digits. And as a result, UH would win that one 89-74. Now, this could have been a train wreck because UH started out the second half a little bit sluggish. But fortunately, they were able to respond and be able to keep their lead. Now, at one point in the second half, they were up by 23. And then Bakersfield goes on a 16-2 run, including 13 unanswered, and cut the gap down to 9 points. But fortunately, that was the closest they got. And thanks to Isaac Johnson, who had 17 that night, along with Harry Ruliadev. But the guy who led was Dre Bullock with 19. And he was really good from three-point range. He was 3 for 7 from three-point range. Bullock was the key player that got UH to the win. Now, Isaac Johnson deserves a lot of credit as well because he aided in that run that UH was able to go on and get their gap back up to double digits, and they were able to cruise from that point on. Now, Bakersfield is a really scrappy team. And last year was really a mess. And by the time we got to their place, Cody Williams had gone down with an injury. And as a result, that was our last chance to lock up a spot in the Big West tournament. And we were unable to do so, losing at Bakersfield and CSUN. And that ultimately brought UH's season to an early end and certainly put the tenure of Eran Ganot in some jeopardy. But as of right now, I think Ganot's tenure is not in any jeopardy anymore. And to go from not qualifying for the Big West tournament last year to leading the conference this year, you talk about a big turn of events, because the fact that UH is leading the conference right now is proof positive that they went to the portal hard. Now, although they did lose Tanner Cuff for the season, and Jalen Myers departed the team just before the Riverside game, but is still enrolled at UH. The fact remains that UH is still proving that they're the cream of the crop. Now, I had predicted that UH would win by at least 8 points, and they ended up winning by 15. And one thing's for sure, some guys I was looking for some guys I thought would have a better performance. I was a little surprised that we didn't see Yassine Toomey out there. I'm not sure if he was out injured or if he didn't make the trip, but that opened the door for AJ Economo to get some time on the court. And make no mistake, that kid can be a good one for sure. And if he stays at UH for next season, and I really think he should, considering moving conferences, I have no doubt that he will be a sixth man off the bench, or at least get a start job, or maybe be on the cusp of that. Okay. Now, Economo did not score at all, which is unfortunate, but still, you can't fault him. He's still kind of learning the ropes, but I still think that we haven't seen the real AJ Economo yet. But still, to be frank, I would give this game probably an A-, despite the fact that they went scoreless and fell victim to that 16-2 run. But fortunately, they had built up enough of a gap, UH I'm talking about, to keep the lead. And I'll be honest with you, if they had lost that lead, that would have been a major, major train wreck for sure. Because as Gunnar said in a post-game interview with Scott Robbs of Spectrum Sports, we suck when we don't play well. And I'll tell you this, they didn't suck at all that night. I can tell you that right now. And that was a huge win for UH because after learning that Cal Poly beat UC Irvine at home, man, I have a feeling that Gunar's job is back under lock and key for sure. And the unfortunate part is we won't be around to defend the Big West Championship if we win it, since we're moving conferences. But then again, so is UC San Diego, and I talked about that in my last video. But I would give this game an A- because UH was able to respond well with some significant runs. That could have been a train wreck, but fortunately, it did not turn out to be just that. And I'll say this. I think if UH can come away with one more win, they'll lock up a spot in the Big West tournament. And we're going up against a team that ultimately ended UH's season last year. But at that time, the season was kind of a train wreck after UH got pummeled by CSUN at home by 23 points. And from that point on, it seemed like they would have one good game and 3 bad ones up next. But this time, UH really knows how to respond well after a loss. And the fact remains, this team is really proving to be special. Is it anywhere close to the 16 squad? A little bit, but not quite as emphatic in a way, because it seemed like UH was winning games left and right, and they will go on a significant win streak. And although this was only 3 in a row, as far as conference is concerned, it was also the 8th time in the last 9 meetings against Bakersfield that UH came away the winners. And that's a good record, too. And when you have good players like that who know how to control the ball, and they're a guy that you can depend on in crunch time, you get results like this. Last year, we had some guys that could theoretically do that, but it seemed like they were missing that true point guard like Juan Munoz. And as a result, it turned out to be a bit of a disastrous season. But quite frankly, I do think that the season kind of went downhill when they couldn't get Deshaun Allen Ikens from CSUN. And props to guys from last year like Tom Beattie and Ryan Rapp, who tried to be that guy to depend on in crunch time. But it just seemed like they couldn't close out efficiently. But this year, you don't got to worry about that, let me tell you. This team is special, make no mistake. And let me tell you, if they can come away with the win over CSUN and maybe get on an early run in the second half and win by over 20, that's proof right there that this team has got what it takes. So as for CSUN, I probably would have to put them as 7-point favorites, UH I'm talking about, because we look good in the home matchup. And I do think that we will be able to get a good win. But if we can win by double digits again, look out, boys. This team's legit. And like I said earlier, I think Connaught's job will be under lock and key regardless of what happens. And that's where I'll leave it. So anyway, guys, that's all for today. And remember, subscribe. I'll see you all after my recap of CSUN. And unfortunately, I won't be around to listen to that one because I will be at another local volleyball tournament. But still, I will do a recap anyway. I will still follow the game through social media. But in the meantime, remember, subscribe. I'll see you all again. Go Bows!